Hello everyone, Derek Stam Toys, and we are back with another action figure review. Today, we've got the Series 14 Unrivaled Collection Swerve Strickland in the house. Whose house? Well, it's my house actually. I pay to live here. But we've got Swerve Strickland finally making his way into the collection. Super stoked to get this figure in-house. I don't have the Billy gun, have never seen the Billy gun, let's be honest. And I'm thinking about maybe copping the Ricky Starks. I'm not gonna lie, but I don't know. I think I've spent enough money today. As of recording this, this is the day after my birthday, but I got this on my birthday. I was just a little busy, I had things I had to do, and not mad about it. It wasn't necessarily like a big occasion thing. Had some family over, hung out for a bit. They actually brought me a couch for my apartment because we haven't had a couch yet, so that was kind of a blessing there. But yeah, before we get this bad boy open, I would like to say we do have another figure review, so if you are catching this on like somebody else's page, just throwing it out there, I do have a pretty cool exclusive review that comes up next after this review goes live, so stay tuned. You might be intrigued by that because I know I am. Either way, let's shut the hell up and let's get into this Swerve Strickland action figure review. So alrighty, you guys, now that we've got Swerve out of his plastic prison, we can go over some of these accessories and then we can get into the figure review for the rest of the way. All I can say though is I am really impressed with how this figure is. And first things first, we're gonna go over the rubber jacket. You know how I feel about rubber accessories, though I do dig the way this one looks. The arms will probably end up coming off if I do plan to use this for the feds, so that'll be a win-lose scenario there, especially when the arms are like stiff as hell. Like the jacket's nice and soft, and then you get to the jacket arms and they're like solid as shit. Of course, he does come with two different sets of hands. You've got weapon holding and or maybe mic holding hands, and you've got a set of fist hands, and you also have a set of just some plain black shades. There's not really any detail that I've noticed on these that make them like stand out, so that's that. But one thing that does stand out, which is on both hands thankfully, you've got Swerve's hand tattoo, so pretty happy to see that in full execution there, since AEW figures of the past have had problems where they'll put hands in with certain figures and they don't realistically go with them because they'll be missing tattoo decal, like Ray Phoenix figures for instance. But we've got Swerve in hand. My bad, it is like 4:30 in the morning as I am recording this the day after my birthday, after my little nap, which is why these didn't come out on my birthday realistically. Just throwing that out there, I did take a small nap. But the tattoo decal on the body is definitely a tad bit weird looking, comparing it to his arms. Maybe like I like how dark the ones on his arms are, and then you get to the ones on his body and they're a little bit of a tad shade lighter, maybe a couple shades lighter. Not really the biggest ordeal though, if we're gonna be honest here. I do love that chest tattoo. Every time I see it, it just drives me nuts. You've got that skeleton with a goatee and a cross on his forehead and the hairdo. You've got Faith written on the stomach with wings. A lot of nice tattoo decal work, and I want to say a lot of these are actually legit tattoos he has too. They're not filler tattoos for copyright reasons. Speaking of anything of that nature though, I do kind of want to get into this head scan, which I do love this head scan in the way it looks. It looks like a first go around Swerve, like I want to say he's got a bit of a thicker beard now and longer hair, which, a new Swerve was just announced, what was it, like a few days ago, like 5 days after I bought this. So of course, I buy this late in the game and a new one gets announced that's probably a tad bit more modern. I don't know yet. But getting into the tights, you've got Swerve written on one side. You've got what I'm assuming would be a reimagining of his face, all done in a nice orange, purple, and white with silver lower halves, just plain black boots, nothing too special there. But what is a little special is that belt is actually a little sculpted on there. Like, you go the rest of the way and it's like flat back here. There's not much sculpting there. Like, yeah, you can feel that little section there is sculpted, but that's about it. It's not as textured as it is up here, which I do find a tad bit weird. But all around, this Swerve head scan is really solid, especially when you take into consideration the nice little small details in the hair and all that kind of shit. His tattoo work is really good. Everything's just, I say, fairly solid on this. Especially articulation. I was playing around with that a little bit earlier for those of you who are a tad bit scared. He does have boot rotation. It's just all the way down here instead of it being like a upper shin cut or something like that. So I guess maybe for some of you that might be a tad bit odd. Rest of the way though, it's all a standard AEW figure and everything an AEW figure can do. And he is actually probably one of the better ones to pose around. I did take a couple of little quick shots. Maybe I'll use one for the thumbnail. But yeah, with all that being said, why don't I get them all set up in a cool little pose or some shit like that, and we can get into the final thought. And we can wrap this video up now. Alrighty, you guys. So now that we got them all suited up, we grabbed a Seth Rollins jacket, and I can't really remember where those shades came from. But we got them all suited up. He's standing over top of Bobby Lashley. Of course, I don't think that's what happened at Full Gear, but we can envision that for this thumbnail and stuff like that. So, how do I feel about this? Of course, first time figure. He hasn't had a second release as of yet. He has one coming soon. You can pre-order that right now on Ringside Exclusive. Yeah, ringsidecollectibles.com. I almost said ringsideexclusives.com. Don't mind me. I'm a little bit tired, and I still got one more of these to do. Really excited for that one though, so I might perk up a little bit. No angle. But as far as it goes, I love the way it feels in hand. I love the attire choice. Everything except for the jacket. The jacket is a little trash. That's just because it's rubber. If I cut the sleeves off it though, make it a little bit more posable, that may be a pretty fire accessory. Worst case, I might just have to have him like wear a hoodie underneath it so it looks like it's a long sleeve or something. I don't know. I'm not really all that concerned with it though. At the end of the day, I do have other accessories that I feel like Swerve Strickland would use, hence why I chose this jacket. I feel like it just kind of pops with the attire. Seeing on how there's a little bit of white and black in the attire with the boots and the white stripe that's cutting the purple and the orange off. With all that being said, I'm gonna give this figure a good solid 8.5 out of 10. The rubber jacket definitely is a little point degrading, and I'm not gonna lie, for me personally, I would have loved a more like maybe if not straight face, maybe a like screaming or a smirking face, because this one that he has on him always makes him look like a little bit angry or something like that, which I mean, fair enough, but a secondary head scan would have been cool for sure. Maybe we'll get newer ones and better ones with the new Swerve that's coming out. Maybe one of these days, if they're still doing the Supreme collections, God only knows what's happening with that shit, because I haven't kept up with action figure news on the AEW side. We've got maybe a potential Supreme Swerve down the line. You know, that would actually be a video. 10 Supremes and 10 Ultimate Editions I would love to see in the modern day. Like, what would I choose maybe attire wise, or who would I choose just to get a figure based off that line? And then maybe I can just go through and heart some of the suggestions in the comments down below, because I don't know, I do watch a lot of AEW, but I can't really say I remember attires off the top of my head like that. At least not without watching it back and then being like, oh yeah, that gear was really nice. Like Seth Rollins' gear from earlier this year when he was at Mania, I want to say the night where he faced Drew McIntyre. They just revealed a figure of that Seth Rollins, and I'm like, you know, that attire was actually pretty damn great. I would love to have that in my figure collection. And maybe we'll review it when it comes out in a theater near you, of course. With me saying it's an 8.5 out of 10, I feel like when it comes to the Meltzer rating, because, you know, for those of you who are new here, I did ramble a bit. Normally I do a 1 to 5 star rating to go along with the 1 to 10. Just for the people who would love to have the Dave Meltzer aspect in the reviews. Anywho, what would I rate this figure on a scale of 1 to Young Buck? I think it's fairly simple. A good 4 point. Yeah, I think a good 4.4 is fairly fair there, because a 4.5 could easily be a 9, could be a 8. It's a little debatable. I said 8.5, 4.4, kind of leaning into the fact that it could be a good 9 out of 10, or a good 4.5 out of 5 stars, 4.25, whatever you would want to go. I don't know. On that note, though, I do want to get out of here, so with that all being said, if you did like the video, feel free to like the video. If you didn't like the video, womp womp, I guess. But if you did, feel free to check out some of my other action figure videos, such as action figure reviews. Sometimes I do unboxings, like this actually was supposed to be an unboxing originally, but I only ended up getting 2 items for my birthday, so wasn't going out of my way too heavily to unbox it, especially when technically I did buy it for myself, because I do love to spoil myself. Anyway, at the end of the day, you can go check out some unboxing videos and stuff of that nature. And I also do pick-fed related content, hence why you may see the ladders all around here and the new setup and stuff of that nature. We've got a match actually currently going on for the United States Championship, a ladder match. So maybe stay tuned in for that. Maybe go follow me on Instagram to see some action figure preview shots, though I haven't really posted much of the Silver and Finn Balor match. I think I posted a little bit of the entrances, but I didn't realize the Finn Balor match would immediately cut at the minute mark, so sorry for those of you who are following me on Instagram already and have seen that. But yeah, anywho, if you guys would like to, you know, before the end of the year, it'd be pretty cool to get to 400 subs. 300 subs. 400 would be cool too, but we'll get there eventually. 300 is the goal for the end of the year. I only say that because last I looked, I want to say we were at 193, which is a really damn good number. Going from a nobody channel to having almost 300 people subscribe to me, 300 people that realistically I don't even know. Maybe it's people who have made multiple accounts and they subscribe that way. I don't honestly care. To me, that's fine. Feel free to do that if you want to do that, but I'm not going to encourage it either. But at the end of the day, if you would like to get us up to that number, feel free to share this with anyone who you feel would like to see this review. Of course, the Swerve Strickland's been out for a minute, so I understand if you don't. But if you do, share it around. Can't hurt nobody. And at the end of the day, we are going to sign off. So have a good rest of your day, night, evening, morning, whatever the case may be. I don't know, because I am not in your time zone. And what I want to be, I don't know, maybe you're living in like inner city Chicago where there's a lot of shit going on. Not like genuinely in the moment, but I feel like Chicago would probably be one of those cities that just has casual shit just happening all times of day. Kind of like New York. Anyway, we're going to sign off. So have a good rest of your day, night, evening, all that stuff. Blah, blah, blah. Said all that already. And we are out of here. So deuces, ooses, yeet. Well, that was kind of a fail, but yeet.